to get your thoughts on this one. Are the Home Affairs Committee here turning a blind eye to some obvious discrepancies in policing? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd make the point that this is a disgraceful report, hugely disappointing. The issue of two-tier policing should be treated with the utmost seriousness, and that includes professional research looking into it. Now, if you look at the police response to the Southport riots, I was supportive of that response. It was a robust response. Merseyside Police very much stood their ground and also received mutual aid and support from neighbouring police forces. But then if you see a few weeks before that, if you see the policing response to the Hare Hills riots, what triggered that was 4 children from a Romani family was being taken into care by police and social services. You saw West Yorkshire Police in effect retreat from that situation where you saw a police car overturned, a double-decker bus set ablaze, and violent confrontations with police officers. So I think what's incredible with this report is that Hare Hills was only mentioned once in the report, and Birmingham wasn't mentioned at all. And we saw there in Birmingham, you had West Midlands Police liaising with so-called community leaders when looking to tailor their policing operations in areas with high Muslim populations. So I think it's to say that two-tier policing is almost some kind of myth. I think it's hugely disrespectful, and it's actually gaslighting much of the British public.
This is what a lot of people will feel. A lot of people will look at the footage of the response to the Southport riots and look at the footage of so many other situations and think this just looks to be completely two-tier. But what the police might say is that they were prepared for huge riots when it came to those Southport riots. They knew that they were doing riot response. They had riot gear, they had riot shields. I mean, we saw some of the moronic protesters throw bricks at the shields, bounce off and hit them back. That was particularly amusing. But when it came to some of these other instances, could it be that the police simply did not realise it would be that violent, and so the footage of them running away that we saw at Hare Hills, could that not be explained by police simply not having the right kit with them?
Well, Tom, I think you make a very reasonable point, and that would have been a good point of investigation for this report, except that there's no critical examination of why the policing responses were different between Southport and Hare Hills. I think that would have added great value to the report. The Home Affairs Committee made no such comparative analysis, and I think that you may be a bit too generous towards the police. If you saw that with West Midlands Police, I'll give you an example. If there's a serious risk of public disorder, how many times do you see police forces interacting and liaising with so-called community leaders in the white British mainstream?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that at all.
I don't know what a community leader is in the white British mainstream.
They seem to be self-appointed, don't they?
Precisely, and I want to make this point that if you want to talk about violence last summer, you're talking about riots here. No one was actually killed in these riots, but they were killed at Notting Hill Carnival. If you want to talk about public disorder, and you see that, I think the Met Police almost has an almost forgiving attitude towards Notting Hill Carnival and the violence there. Would they have that almost forgiving attitude, say, if it was a St George's Day parade attended primarily?
Yeah, and I think this idea of two-tier policing, of course, was kicked off really. I mean, of course, there's people who've been talking about this for years and years and years, but the BLM protest, where the police literally took the knee to a protest movement. Thank you very much, Rakib. We're going to have to leave it there because we've run out of time. Dr. Rakib Ehsan, who is a social policy analyst.
Well, do stay with